So he delivered him over to them to be crucified. So they took Jesus, and he went out bearing his own cross to the place they called the place of a skull. And in Aramaic, it's called Golgotha.
Pilate also wrote an inscription and put on the cross. It read, "Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews." Many of the Jews read this inscription for the place where Jesus was crucified near the city, and it was written in Aramaic, in Latin, and in Greek.
So the chief priests of the Jews said to Pilate, "Do not write the King of the Jews, but rather this man said, 'I am the King of the Jews.'" Pilate answered, "What I have written, I have written."
When the soldiers had crucified Jesus, they took his garments and divided them into 4 parts, 1 part for each soldier, also his tunic. But the tunic was seamless, woven in one piece from top to bottom. So they said to one another, "Let us not tear it, but cast lots for it, to see whose it shall be." This was to fulfill the scripture which says, "They divided my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots."
So the soldiers did these things by standing at the cross of Jesus, where his mother and his mother's sister, Mary of Clopas and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother, the disciple whom he had loved, standing nearby, he said to his mother, "Woman, behold your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Behold your mother." And from that hour the disciple took to his own home.
After this, Jesus, knowing that all was now finished, said, to fulfill the scripture, "I thirst." A jar full of sour wine stood there, so they put a sponge full of the sour wine on a hyssop branch and held it to its mouth. When Jesus had received the sour wine, he said, "It
is finished."
And he bowed his head and gave up his spirit.
But Sunday is coming.